And we're live again. Welcome to day 10 of the Run Against Violence Virtual Team Challenge for 2024. We are over halfway officially now in this challenge. So we've got 9 days to go, and I'm sure everyone's legs out there are starting to get quite tired. But gosh, there's some amazing achievements going on at all levels of the pack, at the front of the pack, in the mid pack, and also I know there's some fantastic kilometres and distances being gained by those people that were perhaps a little bit of a late start getting into it. Tonight we are going to be going to the incredible community of Mount Gambier down in South Australia, because I wanted to share this community with you because they are such a fantastic example of how you can use Run Against Violence each year. There's 19 days as a platform for community engagement, for community education, and all the sorts of things that you want to achieve within your own community in order to prevent family violence. So in a couple of minutes, we will be talking to Belinda and Ian from down at Mount Gambier. But first, I wanted to bring to you the amazing achievements that have been going on over the last few days. For instance, we have just reached on the fundraising board $54,085. That is phenomenal. That's well over halfway now in our fundraising efforts. Now on the ticker tonight, I have got for you the top 10 teams and the top 10 individuals who have been doing all of that fundraising. So thank you for all the incredible work that you've been doing. For those people who like a little bit of competition and get spurred on by achieving new goals and heading up at the front of that pack, here's a goal for you. If everyone who is participating in this challenge gets one $10 donation in the next 9 days, that's not 9 days of $10 donations, just one $10 donation, we will set the highest fundraising result for the Run Against Violence Virtual Team Challenge. Now, last year, you'll know that we ended up donating $113,000 to NAPCAN. So that was made up of $67,000 of direct donations. And then the Run Against Violence Committee topped that up with a further $40,000. So we would absolutely love, obviously, to get to our dream goal of $100,000. But if everyone can put in or source one $10 donation over the next 9 days, then we will certainly be well on our way to hitting that dream goal. Fantastic. So lots of activity over the weekend. My goodness indeed. We've now got 10 teams into Sydney. That's amazing. And so I'm going to jump straight over there and let's have a look at actually who those 10 teams are. A lot of those ones at the front of the pack we obviously know, but today we've had Mildura Rav come across the crew. So well done, Sam. Like I've said on earlier episodes, Sam got her teams together at the very last minute, and here they are way up the leaderboard. And of course, the big question on everyone's lips, will he actually make it? And they did today. So well done, team. Trails and Training have just been absolutely demolishing the course, and they're continuing on. Brave, M3PS are all across, and I would say Rage Against Violence will go across tonight, and possibly Team Brannigan, the Wine Runners. A lot of these teams will possibly be ticking over their kilometres this evening, knowing that a lot of people have to go back to work tomorrow and other commitments, so perhaps don't have so much spare time as they might have had on the weekend to log all these amazing kilometres. Ravishing Ravens that we were talking to up in Mount Gambier, up in Atherton Tablelands. I'm getting geographically mixed up already. Up in the Atherton Tablelands, they will also come across the line very soon. But also wanted to draw your attention way down the list here to Team Happy Feet, who are our first team of 10 or less to be heading toward that finish line. So you think it's a phenomenal achievement when you've got a team of 20. Imagine the work that is taken for a team of 10 to get to this position by day 10. So again, who knows what they've got up their sleeve, but we'll see them cross the finish line in the next few days. So brilliant work, everyone. I know how much effort has gone in to those teams. So no more further ado, I'm going to bring onto the screen Belinda Seaman and Ian McKay from, Ian's disappeared on me.
Oh no!
He was here 2 seconds ago. Maybe he's dropped out a bit or something. I'm right now bringing onto the screen Belinda Seaman. Mount Gambier. You can do the first bit. You can give us the tour guide of Mount Gambier, and perhaps by then Ian will be back on with us. But he was sitting here a few minutes ago, and no doubt you can probably hold the whole show because I know how much you love Gambier and how much you love Rav. So if he doesn't pop back on, then we'll get him on another night. Yeah. Belinda, hello.
Hello everyone.
Now, anyone that's been around RAV for a few years knows your name and knows that we have a fantastic following and support and community down in Mount Gambier. Now, I'm lucky enough that I've been able to visit Mount Gambier a few times, but for the rest of the folk who have never been there, where is it and why would I go there?
Okay, well, we're in the bottom southeast corner of South Australia, so quite down south. Yes, it is quite cold and a little bit wet at the moment, so it's a bit of a challenge at times. And I guess one of our major touristy draw cards is Blue Lake, which, strangely enough, is very, very blue. It's in a volcanic crater of an active volcano. So it's got lovely limestone coast sides, which reacts, I don't quite understand, but the whole sunshine thing. And it's really, really blue on a sunny day. It's actually really beautiful. And then I guess we're also famous in our region for our red wine, which is great. Pine plantations, lots of underground cave networks and sinkholes. It's a really beautiful green place to do lots of walking and running.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got Ian here now, so I'll bring him on.
Yeah, hi, Kiralee.
There we go. I think if I press that, that's better. We can see everyone's face again now. So Belinda's just describing the amazing Mount Gambier. I always love to be able to get down there and spend time there. And she's talked about the sinkholes. I don't know how much you can hear, and Blue Lake, etc. What do you think is the biggest draw? Why do you choose to live there?
Well, originally came here for employment, but we certainly love the place. All of those things that Belinda just said. Apart from the diving, I'm not really into the diving, but the walking and the running and the natural environment, and not to mention a few red wines, like Belinda said. Yeah, it's a great place to live. Terrific community environment.
And it has a fantastic, and as a lot of rabbits are always interested, your park run is quite excellent as well. It's a fantastic route up along the edge of the Blue Lake. It's a little bit hilly though.
It certainly is. Yes, a little bit flatter would probably be better for me, but it is challenging. But it is a great park run round the Blue Lake. I heard Belinda just mentioning our beautiful Blue Lake, and to run around it each Saturday morning at park run is pretty special.
Yeah, it's nice.
Excellent. So one of the reasons I wanted to get both of you on is I think everything that you've achieved down in Mount Gambier with the community action that you're taking around the prevention of family violence, and I really love also the evolving relationship between RAV activities and Rotary around the nation, but particularly down in Mount Gambier is leading the way there. So first of all, so Belinda is, like I was saying before, is a fairly well-known raver, but Ian, I don't know if too many ravers know you so well. So would you like to introduce what you do in your spare time these days?
Yes, my involvement, I guess, is I was a park runner. I've been a park runner for a few years, but getting involved with RAV's really been through Rotary. as you highlighted, Rotary focused on saying no to domestic and family violence in the last Rotary year. We certainly in our club here locally looked at trying to partner with the community. It's early days, but one of the early successful partnerships is with Belinda and others in the RAV group, and we really hope that will grow and strengthen and help further increase awareness against domestic violence in our community.
Absolutely brilliant. It has been a really interesting tale, I think, of how things have evolved. So I thought it would be useful to go, because other people I know are thinking about what they can be doing in their community. And it has been quite a few years, I guess, of Belinda tapping away, and as you say, Rotary working away at their initiatives. And then the two this year have come together, which is brilliant. So I thought I might start with Belinda. And for those that aren't familiar, perhaps you can, in a couple of minutes, describe that first year, 2017, you, I believe, saw something on Facebook about the very first virtual challenge. And yeah, maybe you can pick the story up from there about how you got involved.
Yeah, I saw a post about this event coming up, and I just started my own running journey. And so I posted on a local running group and said, is anyone taking part in this? I'd love to join a team. I got a few comments back saying, oh, no, I've never heard of it, but if you start a team, I'll join. So I sort of thought, oh, well, why not? Can't be that hard. And so jumped on and put together a team. And within one day, we had a team going. Back in those days, it was a team of 10. And then kept on getting more and more interest. And so within 2 days, we had 2 teams. And so that's where we started.
Amazing. And so you successfully completed that first year, and a lot of people, that's all they do, which is brilliant. Always happy for people to turn up and tick their box and move on to other things. But you're stuck around and continued. What is it? What why? Why have you continued coming back year after year?
I think it was the first year was super, super special, being able to watch Kiraleigh's journey and watch her go across, and it was just something that will stick with me forever. But it was also as you're telling your story to workmates and friends, and just hearing their feedback on how important you speaking out was to them. And then each year you get a different person. It might only be one person who comes up to you and says, wow, that's really cool. Or sometimes it's a person that joined the challenge 3 years ago, and then they come and tell you their story this year. And so just each year there's some personal connection that happens that makes you think, wow, sometimes it feels like we're battling uphill and we're not doing anything, we're not reaching anyone, but then something will happen and this is working, this is a really good thing, and just keeps us coming back.
And then you, like I said, you participated for a couple of years. I can't remember the exact timing. Hopefully you can clarify it for me. But then you started getting interested in love bites in the high schools. I believe you sort of kicked off some conversations around that. Yeah,
I'm not quite sure what year that was either. I guess it must be at least 4 years ago now. And we started sort of asking our local education department, have you seen this program? Have you thought about having this program in schools? And the education department were a little bit standoffish. They hadn't really heard much about it, and they didn't know how it fitted into the curriculum. And so it was a bit of a challenge. And then we had, who was that? One of the local Baptist Care Baptist Care SA in Mount Gambier, who had some funding, and they were also looking at training some facilitators for the Love Bites program. So we sort of helped out with that, and we were very excited to get a facilitator training in Mount Gambier, and now we've got it in schools. We've got it in my daughter's school, which I'm very excited about. And I actually had a parent message me to say, I've seen this thing pop up on my child's, my child's diary called Love Bites. Do you know anything about this? Is this what you're doing? And so to be able to tell them what that was and know that was coming into their class was really cool. I was, pretty excited about that.
So in roughly around that time that I guess that Belinda was starting to, as you say, that sort of 3 or 4 years ago time frame was really where we started seeing Rotary stepping into the space more strongly. I know a lot of the clubs have been active around domestic and family violence prevention for decades, but as a national initiative or a much more focused initiative, it started really gaining traction. So what, in terms of, first of all, if you'd like to sort of share about the broader district goals in this area, but also what sort of activities have Rotary been focusing on, what have their priorities been over that period?
Well, I guess as you said, Rotary's been involved in various ways for a long time, but it was fairly ad hoc. So some clubs were involved, some clubs weren't. I had the privilege last Rotary year of being district governor in our Rotary district, and one of my colleagues in New South Wales, Dave Harmon, who you know, he brought to our district governor group the suggestion that we make it a zone focus, that Rotary says no to domestic and family violence. So in the last Rotary year, we, I guess, rolled out the challenge to Rotary clubs to be involved so that our 1,300 clubs across Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific Islands many of them or most of them would be giving a similar message that it's not acceptable in any shape or form in our communities for domestic and family violence to occur. And I think we have made a lot of progress, because with more clubs involved, it really sends a more consistent message. How have clubs in our part of the world been involved? We've got many clubs that have been involved in awareness walks, either during the 16 days of activism in November or at other times during the year. We've got clubs that have messages behind the toilet doors in public toilets, saying no to domestic and family violence and providing advice for people of where they can go for support. We've got other clubs, our own clubs, starting to roll out messages on coffee cups, so that they'll be in takeaway coffee cups. So again, the messages are coming in a more consistent form, and I think that's the strength of Rotary coming together, because we've got such a strong network across Australia and New Zealand. It's early days, and I think there's a lot more that Rotary can do in partnering with groups such as RAV to make a solid, consistent message.
And I think it's important to know for people, for RAVers throughout Australia, to know that Rotary is taking on this initiative and taking on that focus and the level of scale, because of the, like you say, the partnerships that can form in a local community between RAVers who are keen to do something, and Rotary have a big platform for doing it as well, which is, I guess, what this latest phase has been in Mount Gambier. Belinda, I know you've been heavily involved in the creation of a family fun day down in Mount Gambier. Would you like to talk us through that a little bit, how that unfolded? How did the conversation start around it, and how you made it happen?
We started talking about how to reach different groups of the community. We've got a fairly strong presence in sort of a lot of the running groups and walking groups and park run and places like that. And then, our own family and friends of all the RAVers and their workmates, that's going really well. But, 9 teams across the Limestone Coast it looks good on a lit up map, but that's not very many people really. So we're trying to think how we can reach those new groups. And we thought of a family fun day. So it's something where families can bring their kids along, but they can be entertained, so the parents can then have some of these conversations and learn a bit about what we're doing. We held it on what we call our railway lands. So it's a real, really popular walking trail through the town, so that hopefully we could hijack some people walking past who, obviously are already exercising. And so maybe that would be easy for them to join in with the challenge. So it started out like that. We came up with different activities that we wanted to be able to do, some arts and crafts, some sport for the kids, and a community relay that we were pretty keen to have as part of our event. And then, of course, we know that we have to have insurance for our event. At the time, it wasn't something that we could get through Run Against Violence, because we're just a group of people with no committee directly behind us and whatnot. But we did know that Rotary, and particularly Lakes Rotary, had this connection with domestic and family violence. So we approached them with our plan, and thankfully they came on board to help out.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so it's been really fantastic. Yeah. So they helped out a lot with dealing with the council and providing insurance, obviously, and providing one of their sausage sizzle van on the day, which was great for all the people coming along. It's been really good. And I think it was a pretty good success. We didn't get a lot of sign-ups from it on the day, the first year, but we did reach out to a lot of people that none of us knew. And I mean, that was what we were after. We were after new faces, new names, getting out there, being seen in our blue. And we did, I think it was 91 kilometres for our community relay. So, yeah, we were pretty happy with that.
Brilliant. And from your perspective, Ian, were you able to attend the day, and did you contribute to those 91 kilometres?
No, on both counts, unfortunately, Kiralee. Belinda didn't check with me on dates, and we were actually on holidays. But,
lovely.
And not in Mount Gambier. But the reports I heard back was similar to what Belinda said. A really good start, and something that can be built on in subsequent years.
Yeah. And I know every Rotary Club and district is, they've got their own, they're different to each other in terms of the things that they do and how they work. But if there are other RAVers out there in different communities that are keen to form a relationship with Rotary or to see how they might be able to interact, what's a good way to approach, or how do you go about talking to the organisation?
Yeah, probably the best way would be to do exactly what Belinda did, talk on a local level. So if you've got RAVers, and as you said, right across Australia, if you're not sure whether your local Rotary Club is doing anything, have a talk to them. See what partnerships you can form. Rotary clubs, as you said, operate independently, but are always looking to partner with community groups for things that are worthwhile for the community. So my encouragement would be for any RAVer listening is to talk to their local Rotary Club, see if there's anything already happening, and if there's not, see whether you can start something together, and if there is, see whether you can make it better together.
Brilliant. I think that's a really important message, actually. Thank you for that, Ian, that it really is important to find out what already exists and how we can contribute to that rather than be starting up new initiatives, because we're all stronger together. So excellent. Thank you. And do you contact the president, or who do you sort of reach out to?
Yeah, look at the president or the secretary in most clubs. Most clubs have got some kind of website presence, or in smaller communities, I'm sure people would know who their Rotary members are. In larger cities, you might have to do a little bit of Googling. you might even look for the district that you're living in and find out what clubs are in your district. Or failing that, ask Kiralee and she can refer it to me and I can find out for you.
And that's absolutely genuine, isn't it, Ian? Because it's how, the Rotarians are very passionate, and they're passionate about helping communities. So they do genuinely open up, and I'm more than happy to support that, because I've done that already, where we go, okay, so who do I speak to in XYZ town in the back of nowhere? Is there a Rotary Club, and who do we speak to? And it always comes back with an answer on it. So it's a fantastic network to connect into. Well, we better wrap up. We're already at 25 minutes. So any sort of final thoughts or words of encouragement to the Ravers out there, or if anyone that else is sitting out there thinking they might want to do something more, what would be your thoughts and feedback to them?
I just say, jump in and have a go. Don't be afraid to turn up at different running groups events, or turn up at your local AC Care or anywhere with your poster with your name on it, and just try and tell your story and make connections, and you'll be surprised at how many people jump on board and say yes. So just ask.
Yeah, and our Rotary Club's got a team in the challenge this year for the first time. We should cross the finish line tonight, Kiralee. I think we're getting close. So
right.
Yep. So my challenge would be for Ravers to again talk to their local Rotary Club and challenge their local Rotary Club to put a team in next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw the Lakes Rotary and Friends there. I didn't want to put the pressure on, but that number is getting very close to 1,300. So that's brilliant.
It is. Yep.
And certainly I encourage that if anyone is interested in doing more community activities in association with RAV and Rotary, etc., that they do reach out to me or Brad or the RAV committee, and we so we can support and help and facilitate that process the whole way, because we are here to help. And we do have good networks, so it's excellent. Thank you, folks. Thank you for taking us on a trip to Mount Gambier, and hopefully a few more people will be heading your way to collect their M in their parkrun tourism. And I always go, can I have it as a G? Can I have the G instead of the M? Because I live in a town, and so I'm like, oh, can I just call it the Gambier? Thank you.
And as we say here, Kiralee, we've got plenty of mounds of opportunity in our park run. Nice little hills.
Run around. What's the trail run or the race that goes around where we went up to the lookout? Remember we walked up that part there that was all out at one stage. What's that? There's a track around there, isn't there?
Yeah, when we have an annual Tower Trail run through that area from 5 kilometres through to ultra marathon. So whatever pain you want to put yourself under, we can deliver.
It's an incredibly steep and undulation, but sharp undulations around that lake rim. So yes, anyone that hasn't been to Mount Gambier, I think we've done our plug now for the tourism down there. Absolutely. You can't spend enough time down there. It's got fantastic food, beautiful climate. Maybe not at the moment, Belinda. Complaining about having to get out in the wet, but it's an amazing place. So thank you for coming on, and good luck for crossing the line tonight, Ian.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.